Nyctophobia. Nyctophobia stems from anxiety about the unknown. When the lights go out, the person feels as if they are in danger. Although it is common in children, it can also cause serious anxiety and panic in adults. Usually, with the activation of imagination, the person believes something is hidden in the dark, which can lead to problems like sleeplessness and the inability to stay alone. Agoraphobia. Agoraphobia is an intense anxiety that can be triggered even by the thought of being in or going to a high place. The person fears falling or losing control. Because of this phobia, people may experience panic even in simple situations like climbing stairs or standing near a balcony edge. Claustrophobia. Claustrophobia refers to the fear of being in narrow and enclosed places, such as elevators, tunnels, or airplanes. In such environments, the person may feel overwhelming helplessness, as if they are going to suffocate or won't be able to escape. Shortness of breath, sweating, and panic attack symptoms are common. Sometimes a sudden increase in heart rate occurs. This phobia can limit a person's daily routine, restrict their social life, and even make traveling or passing through certain places impossible. Glossophobia. Glossophobia is an intense anxiety that arises even from the mere thought of speaking in front of a crowd. The individual experiences fears of embarrassment, forgetting what to say, or being judged. Voice trembling, sweating, and panic are common symptoms in such situations. This fear acts like an invisible wall that prevents many people from reaching their full potential. Arachnophobia. Arachnophobia is the inability to tolerate even seeing or imagining a spider. People with this fear perceive spiders as threats and respond with panic. Even if harmless, the mere sight of a spider can trigger an instinctive reaction to scream or flee. This phobia can make it difficult for individuals to engage with nature. Ophidiophobia. Ophidiophobia is one of the most common phobias worldwide. A person may feel an intense sense of threat just by seeing or even thinking about a snake. This fear is often linked to an evolutionary instinct to avoid dangerous creatures. For many, even a single image of a snake is enough to accelerate their heartbeat. Coulrophobia. Fear of clowns is especially common among children, but it can also cause deep discomfort in many adults. Excessive makeup, exaggerated facial expressions, and strange behavior can trigger threat signals in the brain. This turns clowns from entertaining figures into something frightening. For some, just seeing a clown is enough to cause a racing heart, panic, and an urge to escape. Monophobia. Monophobia is a state of intense anxiety and panic experienced when someone is left alone. The person feels vulnerable and helpless, creating a sense of internal imprisonment. It makes social relationships difficult and limits personal freedom, sometimes turning life into a form of emotional confinement. Agoraphobia. Agoraphobia causes individuals to avoid trying new things or taking risks. The person fears making mistakes or being inadequate, which prevents them from reaching their full potential. This phobia is one of the biggest obstacles to achieving dreams and often damages self-confidence. Anthropophobia. Anthropophobia is the fear of being in crowds or under the gaze of others. The individual constantly feels judged or excluded, which leads to deep loneliness and isolation. This overwhelming anxiety in social settings creates major barriers in many areas of life and makes self-expression nearly impossible. Thanatophobia. Thanatophobia is one of the most fundamental and universal anxieties of life. The thought of the unknown and the idea of ceasing to exist triggers deep fear. The inevitability of death lingers in the mind as a constant threat and can deeply affect a person's life. In some cases, it leads to panic attacks and severe anxiety disorders. Basophobia. Basophobia is the fear of falling. It is commonly seen in elderly individuals, those with balance issues, or people who have experienced physical trauma. These individuals are afraid of walking or standing because they feel they might fall. In essence, this fear develops as an aversion to movement. Hydrophobia. Hydrophobia is the fear of drowning or losing control in deep water. It can trigger panic even in everyday situations like swimming pools, the sea, or taking a shower. This fear severs the person's connection with water, one of life's most natural and essential elements, and deeply affects their quality of life. Phasmophobia. Phasmophobia is the unsettling sense of doubt and unease about the presence of the unseen. This fear can take over the mind, turning even ordinary moments into ones filled with imagined shadows. In this blurred line between reality and illusion, the mind is often dominated by constant tension and anticipation. Aviatophobia. Aviatophobia is the intense fear that arises from feeling helpless in a situation completely controlled by others. Being thousands of feet in the air can cause anxiety and panic for many. This fear restricts a person's ability to travel and can even interfere with their daily life. Hemophobia. Hemophobia is a strong sense of discomfort and panic at the sight of blood. This fear causes both physical and mental distress. A person may feel faint or completely lose control upon seeing blood. Ballonophobia. This fear is triggered not just by the pain of a needle, but by the overwhelming sense of vulnerability and loss of control. Even though needles are part of life-saving treatments, this phobia can make a person avoid medical care altogether. Cyberphobia. Cyberphobia is the intense fear or anxiety related to computers, digital technology, or the internet. People with this phobia may feel overwhelmed, stressed, or avoid using technological devices and online platforms. This fear can interfere with daily life, work, and social interactions in today's digital world. Nosophobia. The fear of germs and illness is a deep unease toward invisible enemies. Even the slightest symptom can trigger the brain's alarm system, and the person lives in constant anxiety about getting sick. This fear often leads to social withdrawal, obsessive cleanliness, and a significant decline in quality of life. Life, which should be lived in pursuit of health, becomes limited by fear. Agoraphobia. Agoraphobia is the overwhelming fear of feeling trapped and helpless in crowded spaces. This fear restricts social life. Simple activities like going to the store, attending a concert, or using public transportation become daunting challenges. Crowds feel not just physically confining, but mentally suffocating as well. Chronophobia. Chronophobia is the fear of time slipping away and the anxiety of aging. A confrontation with a reality beyond human control. Thoughts about the uncertain future, lost youth, and the inevitable end constantly occupy the mind. This fear prevents people from living in the moment and appreciating the value of life. Scopophobia. Scopophobia is the intense discomfort caused by the belief that all eyes are on you. A person under this fear restricts their actions out of a constant sense of judgment and evaluation, losing their sense of freedom. It leads to social withdrawal and suppresses one's authentic self. Astrophobia. Astrophobia is an excessive and irrational fear of thunder and lightning. It causes intense anxiety and panic during storms. It is commonly seen in children, but can persist into adulthood. Fear is one of the most powerful forces that shapes our lives. Today, I've explained some of the most common and impactful fears. Remember, facing and understanding your fears is the first step to taking control of your life. If you're struggling with a fear of your own, share it in the comments. Let's find solutions together. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next one. Goodbye.